topic that I think is really timely, especially as we're getting to the place where it's going to be the busiest time of year for retailers, which is how do we manage the incredible number of packages that are going to get shipped around the United States and even in the world in the coming months. We've hit an interesting point in e-commerce, or at least in operations, where Amazon now has almost as many robots. They've got 1 million robots. They've got almost as many robots as they do humans working for them. And we all know that Amazon has been a leader in robotics since they bought Kiva Systems years ago, and they've been paving the way. But it feels like something's happened more recently where other people can get in. Is that right, Steve? Like, are we at a place where we've arrived at the robots taking over and we're going to have dark warehouses everywhere?
Well, maybe not dark, but maybe dimmer. I mean, I think, the situation in my mind, it reminds me when I was growing up as a kid. I remember the people down the street, they actually had powered windows. That was only available in Cadillacs at the time. Now every Volkswagen has them. I mean, I think that's these great things. It's not like robots. It's not just for rich, well-endowed kind of companies that like Amazon. It's available for just the average guy, and I think that's something we need to kind of recognize. But I'll say that it starts with really understanding how you're going to use them. I mean, I think that I have a colleague of mine that talks about there's robots for show and there's robots for dough, and you need to make sure you got a plan for how to employ them.
So how does a firm know if they're ready? And how do they decide how they might use robots? Right? Because it's easy to come to this with an excitement. I can imagine a tech geek like me saying, I want to figure out what we do with robots in our logistics or supply chain. But I think that there's something more important about understanding the use cases or the problems to solve and arriving there. So how should a firm be thinking about that?
Well, as I look across kind of the typical activities that go inside of warehouses, from receiving and put away, replenishment, and picking and packing and shipping and moving things around, and also checking to make sure things are where they're supposed to be. I mean, there's a lot of alternatives. I mean, it's just shocking to me how fast this has evolved. There's multiple ways to kind of get insight into this. One of it is obviously to contact somebody like me that's participating in the market regularly. I mean, we're meeting with these companies. In fact, I just had a meeting today with one of them. But I think there's also a huge amount of information now on the internet that can be leveraged to find case studies and so forth that might reveal. I think what's missing though in a lot of that kind of stuff is that it doesn't really it doesn't give you a lot of insight into the costs that are involved or the benefits that can be derived or how to calculate those benefits. And that's really, I think, the most important thing, because some of the benefits that you may derive from these robots aren't necessarily inside of the warehouse itself.